Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to It's Kim. For those of you that don't know, I am It's Kim. I'm a pop culture commentator. You may have seen me from around the internet. I just kind of talk about things that interest me and give my opinion. I'm super into mental health and psychology, and I love Britney Spears. So there's a lot of Britney Spears on my channel right now because she has just released her new book, The Woman in Me, and we're going to be digging into that today, starting kind of our book club situation thing going on. Um, I did want to let you guys know if you were watching on the replay, hello. There should be timestamps in the top comment below, so you can click around to where you want to go within the live stream if that's what you would like to do. But this is an interactive show. I do this because I'd love to be able to interact with my community, whom I call my space angels. And if that's something you're interested in being a part of, feel free to check out membership. You can also like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. It helps me out a lot. And if you're interested in becoming a member, but it's just not something you can do right now, totally fine. Make sure you allow gifts in this chat because we tend to have gifted membership wars that happen here. So you can absolutely take advantage of that if you would like to. Speaking of which, I have to right off the bat, say thank you so much to General Scott for the gifted membership that you gave to someone this morning. Thank you so much. Also, thank you for the PayPal that you sent me today. I will spend it on producer sister. Don't worry. Also, there is another 5 gifted memberships from General Scott. Thank you very much for that as well. It's very kind of you. Also, Shauna Brown, thank you for gifting first 10 gifted memberships and then 5 gifted memberships, which is insane. Which to me, if I'm doing my math correctly, that brings us up to 21 gifted memberships before the stream basically even really started. You guys are amazing and I love you. Sorry, it's gonna get my earbud situation figured out. My goodness. To be honest with you guys, I did not get a lot of sleep last night. I had a very grumpy old man baby and my little Shih Tzu Charlie has been keeping me up a lot. So I do apologize if I am a little bit slower at all today. I'm doing my best. My producer sister was kind enough to get me my coffee, and when that's done, I've got some other caffeine that I will be using. So we're gonna do this because I want to be here. I want to do this. I'm excited. Also, thank you so much to Katie Artist 94 for the $4.99 super chat, saying thank you for this distraction. I need it after the frustrating Maya versus John Hopkins trial. CRPS warriors have to be strong. Much love, Kim. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have not followed this trial so much because I read the synopsis of what was going on and it absolutely shattered my heart. I cannot. And I know so many people that I care about have been involved with this trial, with its coverage. I know Jules has been doing an incredible job, whom I love, and I know Matt Bond has been raising his voice as well, um, and his perspective on it. And some of my favorite YouTubers, like Rob from Law and Lumber, have been covering it a lot. And I know that this is one that has really hit close to home for a lot of people in my community as well as just the communities that surround me, my friends of friends and whatever. And I just my heart goes out to all of you guys and I hope that you all are doing okay. Please remember self-care as you go through this. It's incredibly difficult. Um and just my best to all of you because it's very hard. It's very, very hard. Also, Brandon from Iowa became a YouTube member. Hi. I thought you were. But but Uh, yeah, it's a space angel. I thought you were a space angel, but it's okay. I'm glad you're here. Much love to you. I'm glad we love seeing you around. You always make me laugh, so it's good. Um, okay, so before we start today, we're going to be going over a number of things through Brittany's book. We are going to be talking specifically today about chapters 1 to 8, which is more Brittany's childhood. It basically stops right before she starts the video for Baby One More Time. So, birth to about 15, 16 years old. So, that's what we're going to be going through today. I have links in the description for stuff that I talk about, but the majority of the content that we are gonna be talking about today is from Brittany's book. Um, and that's where we're basing most of our information on because we are gonna be talking about the book. So I have actually never been to a book club. I have never done that. I did look up like what is normal at book clubs, and I know there's a lot of discussion. So my plan today is to go through and I'm gonna tell you guys what I thought, and summarize briefly each chapter, and just any thoughts that I had that I thought were interesting, and then we can open up the floor to everybody and we can all kind of share what we think. So if you want to send that in via super chat, you're welcome to. If you want to send it in just normally through the chat, I will be checking those messages as well. And we could just kind of have a discussion about the book and see what we thought and what we all thought about it as we read through it. But before we do that, I wanted to mention something else quickly. Um, and I will say, hello, YouTube human reviewer. I'm doing my best to respect your guidelines. We're going to be talking about some sensitive subjects in the next segment, but I'm going to keep it appropriate. Thank you. Um, Over the weekend, we the world lost an actor. I think a lot of us know, being Matthew Perry, who passed away. And I want to be clear about this that I am not a massive fan of Matthew or Friends, but someone who is very special to me, being producer sister, is a diehard Friends fan. And um I think sometimes when celebrity deaths happen, depending on, you know, the life of that person, it hits people in the public it hits people differently. I know for me, when Robin Williams passed away, I was devastated, and I kid you not, I cried off and on for days, and I felt like an idiot because I didn't know him, but at the same time, he was such a massive role model to me, especially when it came to mental health and also struggling, with substances, which some of you may or may not know. I have shared this in the past. I am in recovery, and it's really hard when you have someone that you look up to and you lose them, especially when there's been that kind of a battle. And obviously, we don't know how Matthew passed away. All signs are looking that he was sober, um, and I really hope that for him. But regardless, he fought his his whole life against this, and he did amazing things. And something that he really wanted to be remembered by Matthew was the things that he did other than Friends, and I felt like that was the right thing to do today, um, just in his honor and in his memory, and also knowing that, um, for people like Producer Sister, Friends, although it's not the main thing he wants to be remembered by, Friends was, I think, an incredible comfort to her through many parts in her life, and I know that it has been for many others. So, one thing that Matthew really wanted was for us to remember the things that he did in regards to his charity work, to do with substance. I have to be very careful with the words I use, and I'm sorry. I would love to use the actual terms, but I have to follow the rules here. Um, but Producer Sister found this article, and I just wanted to share some of it with you. And it's just that they talk later in this article to his friend Hank, um, who Matthew Perry took to AA and really helped him start his journey of sobriety. But I wanted to read a couple of paragraphs of this to you because I think it's very important. Um, So it makes perfect sense that all of Matthew Perry's obituaries primarily focused on Friends. After all, it not only was Friends one of the biggest and best enduring sitcoms of all time, but Perry was its most distinctive star. You can quite easily draw lines separating the cadences of mainstream comic performances before and after Chandler Bing. However, despite this and his other standout screen work, if there was ever a time for a cultural reappraisal of his wonderful short-lived 2011 sitcom Mr. Sunshine, this has to be it. The last 24 hours, we've seen a groundswell of recognition for Perry's other accomplishments. Attractive text has been shared and reshared across the internet countless times in which he details how he would like to be remembered after his death. The best thing about me is if a person who is struggling with substances or anything of the sort comes up to me and says, "Will you help me?" I will always say, "Yes, I know how to do that. I will do that for you, even if I can't always do it for myself." So I do that wherever I can in groups or one on one, he wrote. And I created the Perry House in Malibu, a sober living facility for men. When I die, as far as my so called accomplishments go, it would be nice if friends were listed far behind the things I did to try to help other people. The Perry House was a 5,500 square foot beachfront compound in Malibu where Perry formerly lived. When he decided to relocate in 2013, he teamed up with substance issue specialist Earl Hightower and turned the house into a residential sober living center where men with substance issues could attend mediation, the meditation programs, and a 12-step workshop. Perry sold the house 2 years later, stating it was too expensive to run and the business didn't really work. At the time, he said he wanted to refocus the business on smaller, less showy premises closer to the center of Los Angeles, although it's unclear whether he achieved this aim. Nevertheless, the idea of the Perry House was so noble that in 2013, he received the Champion of Recovery Award from the White House Office of National Substance Control Policy. In addition to the House, Perry was also a vocal supporter of the National Association of Substance Court Professionals, now All Rise, an advocacy organization for courts that take a public health approach to criminal offenders with substance abuse issues. And now, since his death, others have come forward to reveal how Perry personally reached out and helped them in times of crisis. I think that is such a beautiful thing, and I did just kinda wanna bring that to the forefront. Um, I remember when Bob Saget passed away, um, and it was it was very emotional to see that a lot of people, although we remembered Bob as being America's dad, there also was this outpouring of people who were all so affected by the things that he did to try to help other people that were going through tough times. And I feel like Matthew Perry is another one of these comedian performers, actors that really just had such a heart for other people. And I hope that that's something today as we all, you know, see friends and, you know, we hear "I'll be there for you" played, wherever out of tribute, that we can remember that, he was there for other people. More than being a friend on TV, he was a friend in real life to so many that wanted to make things better. So, I just wanted to say that, and and give my condolences to everybody affected, and try to honor his memory that way because I, for one, am very thankful for the work that he did, and not only for the people he helped, but also just the people that he entertained and helped comfort through their tough times, maybe without even knowing that that's what he was doing. So I hope that's okay. Producer sister, is there anything you want to share? No? Okay. You okay? Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah. I I will always remember that, like, it's hard. It's hard. For me, like, losing Robin was like a shot to the chest. I was so so upset, and I still am. It still hits me sometimes. It's still really, really difficult. Um, just as we transition and I pull up everything that I need to do for the book club stuff here and I regain myself, I did want to ask if anybody wanted to share any celebrities like that that when they were lost that it really hit them in a different way because I think even if we don't all share that same person, it can be comforting to other people in those moments when they're really struggling with something like that to know that other people have felt that for maybe a different celebrity in a different way, but can relate. Um, so I think maybe that could be a cool thing that we just do for a moment and we can all just kind of embrace that together. And I see a few of them right off the bat. Ray, oh yeah, Rando just said same with Robin Williams. That came in really fast. Ray said Lady Diana. Absolutely. I think Diana affected so many people. Chester is a Mandalorian. That's my number two. I remember where I was, and I was not okay because I'm still not okay with that, because I don't know how many of you all are familiar with Chester's history, but we have some shared history. Not obviously the same events, but we could probably relate to each other a little bit with things that we've been through, and it's just awful. It's just awful. Um, DVD when Prince passed, yep, Betty White from the square root of 4 equals rainbows. That's awesome. Sorry, I've never seen your day before. That's amazing. I love that. Yeah, Betty White, Robin Williams, Purple Rose Gamer, Christopher Lee. Oh my gosh, yes. Anna with Chester Bennington. Marion, I hope I said that right. Christina Grimmie, absolutely. Soki, I haven't felt it yet, but I'm fearful for Bruce Willis. Yep, yep, I completely hear that. And Bruce is such a unique situation as well because I think we know that it's coming and we want the best for him while he is still with us and the best life that he can have. But my goodness, is it sad? Gene Rick, Corey. Yep, 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 yep. Chris Cornell, Randall from Iowa, David Knight, Freddie Mercury. That does not surprise me, David, knowing you. Um, yeah, completely. Um, yeah, and that's the thing. I just hope that we can all kind of take those moments together and recognize that we all, oh gosh, Billy Cat, Alan Rickman, oh, and Terry Pratchett. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yep. All right. I have to stop talking about it now. But I think it's just important that we all just kind of have those moments and are together. And grief is I've always heard grief is the void, like the absence of love. It's when you have love and don't have anywhere to put it. When you grieve people. And so you struggle because you don't know what to do. And I was I've always kind of loved that after I heard that because I think it's very true. It's the love that you had for the person can be in some situations. Obviously, there's grief is a very complicated emotion and it has many different versions of itself. But when we love someone so much or we care for them or we want the best for them and everything else, and then all of a sudden we have all that positive emotion and then we have nowhere to put it, it's like, what do you do? And that confusion, I think, and that separation and that absence is very difficult. So it's a very human thing. We're all human. We all feel it. We can all be human together. Imperfect humans. That's what we do. you know? Okay. Yes. Jackie Swan, the Queen of England said, grief is the price we pay for love. Yep. 100%. Yep. Jean Marie, yeah, I'm sorry. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but I think this was important. Okay. So today, today is the beginning of the book club. So my plan on the book club is that today the main focus is going to be the book club, quite possibly depending on the stories that break over the next like couple weeks. I don't necessarily want the book club to be the only thing that we cover, because on this channel I like to cover lots of things, lots of news, and I know that um, Britney Spears isn't number one for everybody here, and that's fine. So today the main topic is going to be the book club. I can't say the same for every stream that we're going to do for the next couple of weeks, but what I have done is I've broken the book into a couple different sections, and I'm going to repeat this again because I know we talked about it the other day and I didn't write it down, and I should have. I should have put it in a community tab. So my apologies on that one. But the first part is going to be today, and that is childhood, which is chapters 1 to 8. The next one is going to be Baby One More Time to In the Zone era / Justin. So the Justin drama will be addressed in the next book club, which is going to be chapters 9 to 17. After that, it's the Onyx Hotel Tour, K-Fed and the Boys, and that's going to be chapters 18 to 23. Next, Partying, Custody Blackout. And I say partying in quotations because we know how this works. Chapters 28 to 24 to 29. Following the conservatorship / losing passion, which is going to be chapters 30 to 37. Standing up for herself, glory / being institutionalized is going to be 38 to 44. And then the last section is going to be fighting for freedom, chapters 45 to 49. So that is how we're going to do this. Now, I'm going to be real with you guys. Tomorrow is one of my favorite days of the year. And I normally do not stream on Tuesdays. However, I am debating on doing a stream earlier in the day, because my friends also stream later in the day on Tuesdays, and I don't ever want to go at the same time as them. I don't feel that that's a nice thing to do. Um, and I want to be supportive of my friends. I also want to watch my friends or be a part of their stuff. Um, so I'm debating on doing part 2 of the book club tomorrow, probably closer to noon hour. Is that some like Eastern Standard Time? So about 2 hours earlier than today. How does that sound for you guys? Are you guys down for a Halloween stream / book club part 2? You guys let me know and we'll go from there. Um, I know it's not a day we normally do, so I'm interested in your opinions on that. So far, I'm seeing positive. Okay. Okay, that's what we'll do. And I am not going to say anything super that gives away anything, but I will say that my costume for Halloween is appropriate for the content that we will be discussing tomorrow, which is also part of why I kind of want to do it. So I hope that that's okay with you guys. All right. So the woman in me. I had a request in my last live stream that I did. We did a members only live stream on Friday. If you guys did not see it, the live stream we did on Friday, members only, I did it there specifically because we were talking about some topics that were very sensitive that have to do with Britney's family. Now, that being said, we are going to have to talk a teensy bit about that today, but we went way more in depth in a way that the YouTube community guidelines are okay with in the members only section. So if that is a part of this book or this is a part of Britney's history that you are interested in, I would highly recommend that you check out that members only stream because we go pretty in depth. And then at the end, we laughed quite a bit. And I heard that some of you all brought the VeggieTales chaos into Rob's stream the other night, which, Rob, if you ever see this, I'm sorry. I didn't think that's what I was doing. I was just trying to help people after we had gone through some pretty, traumatic content. That's all. And didn't mean to cause any chaos there from what I heard. So much love to all of you guys. But I had someone make a request that they couldn't see in that stream. I showed you guys that on the outside of this book, you can see some of the prints. They have this rose on the front, which a lot of people are attributing to Britney saying that she was working on Project Rose over the last little bit. So yeah, to me, I feel like before you even open the book, there's something really neat. So I hope that that's bigger and easier to see now. And I will put the jacket back on. But I thought that was a really cool note just before we even open the book. It's like, it's right there, which I thought was sweet. All right. Katie, sorry. I blame Matt for bringing up Britney first. I blame Matt for everything. In the best way possible, but he knows. He knows. He brings the chaos. He brought the chaos. We know that. Okay. So we go back here. Let me see it. All right. So as we start this stream, I will say that this stream may include a lot of speculation and opinion and should not be taken as fact. However, when I do give my speculation or opinion, I do try to back up what it is I'm saying, and there is usually a source document in the description of each video. And those source documents include the links of where I've pulled information, whether it's images or facts or background or anything like that. Although the majority of what we are going to be talking about today, the source material is Britney's book, The Woman in Me, which is available now on pretty much all platforms. And there's a digital version, there's an ebook version, there is the physical hard copy version, and there is also the Audible version, which is narrated by Michelle Williams. So if you are interested in reading the source material on that, wherever books are sold, guys. And this book is selling very well. It's selling very well for a reason. I would highly encourage that you pick it up. Also, hi, YouTube human reviewer. Nothing explicit is going to be shown in this stream, and I'm going to do my best to respect your community guidelines as always, because as I say, every stream when it comes to these issues.
I'm trying.
I always try. That's all I can do. All I can do is try. It's like Nelly Furtado. It's all you can do. Do your best. All right. So, to begin, the book starts with a dedication, and it is for my boys who are the loves of my life. I also thought that this was interesting. In the audiobook, the majority of the book is read by Michelle Williams. This line is not. This part is written by is read by Britney. So obviously written by Britney, read by Britney, and she really wanted to say that herself. The audiobook also opens with an author's note, and I wanted to read this to you guys because it's not in the physical book. It's only a part of the audiobook. So if you do not have the audiobook, you would not have heard this message from her. So the audiobook opens with an author's note from Britney that says, "This book has been a labor of love and all the emotions that come with it. Reliving everything that you are about to hear has been exciting, heart-wrenching, and emotional to say the least. For those reasons, I will only be reading a small part of my audiobook. I am so grateful to the amazing Michelle Williams for reading the rest of it, and to you for listening." Okay. So hope that's good. Also, wanted to mention before we get any further, apparently Michelle Williams is likely going to be eligible for a Grammy for the reading of this book. I know it's not in the chapters we're covering today, but if Michelle Williams wins a Grammy for going faux shiz, faux shiz, faux shiz, my life will be complete. I will be so freaking happy. Like, it's just the reality that it's like what we're listening to with Michelle is literally Michelle Williams, award-winning actress Michelle Williams, reading Britney, remembering Justin Timberlake, imitating very insensitively. I don't even know how to say it like the right way, but just like being very disrespectful and then having Felicia imitate him. Like the levels of insanity that this is hysterical and I love it. And I hope that if Michelle is eligible, that she wins it because that would be the best Grammy win of all time. Of all time. I'm pulling my Kanye. No, like I'm gonna let them all finish, but this is the best Grammy win of all time. All time. So I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion, but it's mine. Oh, okay. Hang on. Someone just made a comment I gotta put up. Houston just said if she's nominated, that part will be played when listing the nominees. Guys. Perfection. All right. So, the prologue of this book is narrated by Brittany. She does not narrate anything beyond this point. I'm gonna pull up my notes here. I have an insane amount of notes, and I'm sorry, guys. So in the prologue, Brittany describes her childhood, basically walking alone in the woods in Louisiana, singing to herself. She states that her parents argued, her father was an alcoholic, and that she was normally scared in her home. Being in that forest or laying on her neighbor's rock garden gave her comfort, and she dreamed that she could make her own way in life and make her dreams come true. And she says, laying on those rocks, she felt God. And I think there is definitely a theme throughout this book of Britney's spirituality, of her seeking God. Um, and wanting to be a very spiritual person, which is something she has said in the past. One of the things that she said that she really looks up to her mom is because she's so beautiful and kind and a very spiritual woman. And I hope that Brittany can see that in herself now, that she is so beautiful and has been so kind to so many and is a spiritual person in her own right. So I thought that was a really interesting way to start the book, because of that, um, just because of that dynamic in her life. All right, so chapter 1. In this chapter, Brittany reflects on her small town home of Kentwood, and she reveals that it is actually a housekeeper in her laundry room that inspired her to sing, and that she felt shivers hearing her sing for the first time. And she talks about how singing freed her to express herself and took her away from reality. And she also talks about her family history and the tragedies. And again, we covered this a lot in the members only stream we did on Friday. And I have to be very careful talking about it to keep YouTube happy. But one of the family tragedies that is very relevant to this book is Brittany's grandmother, who is Jamie's mom, Emma Jean Spears, or Jean Spears. Um, and that I'm sorry, I have to say it this way, she unalived herself. Um, and it's very tragic. It's one of the tragedies in Brittany's family history. It's very sad. Um, but it's very complicated. There's a lot more to it than that, but I can't unfortunately get into it right now. Um, Brittany also talks about the breakdown of her parents' relationship and how the honeymoon was long over before she came along. And she does reflect on some of her family's happy memories, like her grandmother Lily, who was originally from London. And that's where Brittany's love of the British accent comes from. Um, I loved this part of the chapter, and I wanted to read this to you because I think it shows Brittany in a way that a lot of people don't really know her. So she's talking about her childhood. So she's like, the things that she did to entertain herself and the things that were fun for her. And she said, I worked hard to make things look the way that I wanted them to. I took myself very seriously when I shot silly music videos to Mariah Carey songs in my girlfriend's backyard. By age 8, I thought I was a director. Nobody in my town seemed to be doing stuff like that, but I knew what I wanted to see in the world and I tried to make it so. Artists make things and play characters because they want to escape into faraway worlds, and escape was exactly what I needed. I wanted to live inside my dreams, my wonderful fictitious world, and never think about the reality if I could help it. Singing bridged reality and fantasy, the world I was living in and the world that I desperately wanted to inhabit. I thought that was so beautifully said. I don't know what you guys thought. Please feel free to like give your thoughts on on the chapters as we go. I know we're going to have like a bigger discussion at the end, but I will be keeping my eye on the chat. So if you have things that you want to share, let me know. So we went into chapter 2, and Brittany describes the beginnings of her father's alcoholism and says that Lynn believes that it was sparked after her father. So Lynn's father passed away in a car accident, and in the aftermath, Jamie went on a bender and missed Brian's first birthday party. And he also got inebriated at Christmas, which led Lynn to file for divorce. But Jamie's dad, June Austen, for any of you guys that remember the stream on Friday, that June Austen begged Lynn to take him back, which she did. It seems that their marriage was better for a bit. Jamie opened up some businesses, and Lynn opened up a daycare with her sister, Brittany's beloved Aunt Sandra. And after she was born, so Brittany was born, But Brittany shares this about her mom, that apparently her mother never missed an opportunity to recall that she was in excruciating labor with her for 21 hours. And I just kind of want to rant about this a little bit if it's okay with you guys, because I don't understand why some mothers do this. Like, if you have a kid, it happened because of other people's choices. It didn't happen because of that child. That child did not decide, "Oh, hey, I wanna be here." Okay? And the infant did not wake up and decide to make their mother's life miserable. I don't understand why this is like a guilt trip that people do. And, like, if Brittany's saying literally that she's never missed an opportunity, that this has been like a normal thing for her, like, that just bothers me. I don't like that. I don't like that. Is it Does anybody have any thoughts on that? I'm interested. Sorry, exactly, carbonized. I'm gonna put your comment up. Exactly. Exactly. Carbonized stardust. I also suffered 24 hours of labor before emergency surgery. He didn't decide how big his head was gonna be. I kinda did. It's like, come on. Random Reminder was like, I was in labor longer than that for my first, but I've never held it against. Exactly. Your kid didn't pick that. My gosh. Panda Bear, some labor lasts for 72 hours or more. It's true. It's awful. It can be really tough. Labor is hard. Thank you, Mandalorian. Um, yeah, Jackie Swan, I would never tell my son about that. He is a gift that I really wanted, and that's all he needs to know. Bravo. I feel like it's fine to talk about in the sense that, like, I've had those conversations with my mom. Um, I came into the world very quickly. Too fast. I came too fast. And that was an issue. So that has definitely been discussed with me in the sense of that if I ever have a child, that is something I need to be conscious of, that some people know, like some people have 21 hours. My mom did not. Yeah. uh, Producer sister was fast. I was lightning. So yeah, so it's kind of one of those things that, like, I know that if I ever got pregnant, I would talk to my doctor and be like, "Yo, this is in my family history. Do we need to plan something? Because that might be the best option." But I feel like that's it. You know what I mean? Ugh. Yeah. So I just that bothers me. That bothers me. Anyway, sorry. That was one of those things that just kind of hit me the right way, and I was the wrong slash right way, and I was like, I hate that. I hate that. And I just imagine Lynn Spears saying it in my Lynn Spears voice of just being like, "You took 21 hours to enter this world and it caused me so much pain." Okay. She also talks about her great-grandmother, Lexi, and Lexi is Emma Jean's mom. So great-grandmother Lexi, and that Brittany would hide in her cupboards for fun, like it was like a game. But then she wasn't allowed to see Lexi alone anymore because Lexi was in a car accident with Brittany in the car. But I just wanna bring this up here. What bothers me so much is, how is it okay, like, how did Lynn rationalize in her mind, "You can't be around Lexi anymore because Lexi got in a car accident," but according to this article that we went over on Friday, um, her own father tried to drive inebriated with five-year-old Brittany in the car, and literally when his little brother reached for the keys to stop him from driving, Jamie punched him in the face. So it's totally fine for that man to take over her entire estate and personal life, but she couldn't be alone with Lexi anymore. Not to mention, spoiler alert, we're gonna talk about, a car accident that Brittany was in with her mom in the car when she was driving when she shouldn't have been driving. But that's fine. But, just Lexi. Just Lexi. I'm sorry, that bothers me. Um, yeah. But the chapter ends with this paragraph, and she's talking about the cupboards, and Brittany just says, "I wanted to hide, but I also wanted to be seen. Both things could be true. Crouched in the cool darkness of a cabinet, I felt so small I could disappear. But with everyone's eyes on me, I became something else, someone who could command a room. In white tights belting out a song, I felt like anything was possible." And I thought that was very cute. Was a beautiful way to end the chapter. So then we end up in chapter 3, um, which talks about Brian's accident. So her older brother Brian was we're gonna talk about what happened in that accident. Um, so Brittany just, talks previously just about that they got the call, they ran, they tried to get there as quickly as possible. Finally, we arrived at the field where my brother Brian had been playing with his neighbor friends. They had all been trying to mow down some tall grass with their four-wheelers. It seemed like a fantastic idea to them because they were idiots. I love that. Think of Britney. There's a few moments of that in this book of her just be like, "Because they were idiots," or, "And I was good with that," type thing. Inevitably, they couldn't see one another through the tall grass and had a head-on collision. I must have seen everything, heard Brian hollering in pain, my mother screaming in fear, but I don't remember any of it. I think God made me black out so I wouldn't remember the pain and panic or the sight of my brother's crushed body. So this is just a picture of the 2 of them together. They're a bit older than they were at the time, but I really like this picture of the 2 of them. I thought they were really, really cute. Um, so he was apparently put in a full body cast, which must have been terrifying for her to see as a little girl. And the chapter goes over how close they were and Brian's recovery. And she also talks about the kids that she grew up with deciding to decorate a golf cart and participate in a Mardi Gras parade. There were 8 kids on that golf cart. There should never be 8 people on a golf cart, let alone children. Brittany was in the front, and apparently they hit the car in front of them a few times, and due to that, they got expelled from the parade. What are people doing with cars and stuff in I can't.
That was the right call.
Like, the more that I read about Britney's family history and the stuff that happened in Kentwood, like, the car accidents are just constant, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, it's concerning." It's concerning. I'm glad everybody's okay, but it's concerning. Um, Chapter 4, talks about Britney's dad, unfortunately, and that he started to drink again, which made the businesses suffer and caused conflict in their home. And she talks about witnessing fights between her parents. And despite the conflict in the home, it was still a popular place for friends to come and hang out. And Brittany says she was always dancing on the coffee table for attention, and her mom would tell her to stop, but she did it anyway. Um, and as we go into chapter 5, Brittany talks about her gymnastics classes and the dance competitions that she entered, working through the talent circuit, and she went to an open call audition for the new Mickey Mouse Club. Um, and her and another little girl from Pennsylvania named Christina Aguilera were told they were both talented but too young. And it was recommended that Britney would start to work in New York City. And they didn't move forward with that right away, but she did land an agent and was signed to a talent agency. They are so cute there. I'm sorry. Like, they're adorable. I loved this quote in chapter 5, and it just said, I was a little girl. She is a pretty girl, but I was a little girl with big dreams. I wanted to be a star like Madonna, Dolly Parton, or Whitney Houston. I had simpler dreams too, dreams that seemed to be even harder to achieve, that felt too ambitious to say out loud. I want my dad to stop drinking. I want my mom to stop yelling. I want everyone to be okay. With my family, anything could go wrong at any time. I had no power there. Only while performing was I truly invincible. Standing in a Manhattan conference room in front of a woman who can make my dreams come true, at least one thing was completely within my control. I just think it's so sad that as a little girl, she was even thinking that way. I think it gives more perspective on her brain and the way that she thinks and the way that she sees things. Because even through years where she should have been able to have her innocence and peace and safety, it seems like it didn't really feel that way for her. So now we're on chapter 6, and Brittany talks about being invited to compete on Star Search. And she did win one round and she lost the other. and the host made a really awkward comment about, being like, "Do you have a boyfriend?" Well, I could be a boyfriend. It was weird. It's uncomfortable. I don't like it. It's ugh. Um, it's icky. It's icky. She was like very she's a kid. It's gross. It's just not appropriate. Whatever. Um, After she landed a role on an off-Broadway, production of Ruthless, she was an understudy, and the other understudy for the role was actually Natalie Portman, and she did this until Christmas, because she didn't want to, she didn't wanna keep doing it. She wanted to be home. So they packed up and they went home. After returning home, she auditioned again for the Mickey Mouse Club, and while waiting for Disney to make up their minds, she spent more time in school and playing basketball. She really, really loved basketball. So chapter 7, Brittany begins her role in the Mickey Mouse Club. She said that the cast was split into cliques based on their dressing rooms. So her and Christina and another girl named Nikki were in the same dressing room, and she also connected with a boy named Justin Timberlake. And she talks about the fun of the show and their downtime as well as their grueling schedule. The fun thing about it was they filmed in Orlando, Florida. So when they had downtime, they literally just went to Disney World, which that sounds pretty sick. But also they rehearsed a lot. So it wasn't all fun and games by any means. Sorry, give me 1 second. I got a cough. Sorry about that. Um, Not long after the filming started, however, though, they got a call from Kentwood that Brittany's grandmother, Lily, had passed away. And as I've said before on this show, because I never mean to drag her name, because all I've ever heard about this woman is that she is amazing. Justin Timberlake's mom lent Lynn the money for them to get the plane tickets to go home to go to the funeral. Like I've said, I have never heard anyone say anything terrible about Justin's mom ever. She sounds like a lovely lady, and it's very kind of her to do that. Brittany also shared that she had her first kiss with Justin in a game of Truth or Dare. When the show ended, many of Brittany's classmates or castmates, I said classmates, castmates went to New York or LA to find other jobs. Brittany went home to be a normal teenager, and she talks about having cocktails with her mother, like actual cocktails, smoking for the first time and getting caught. When she was 13, Lynn let Brittany drive, and due to an argument about her smoking, Brittany crashed into a telephone pole. She also had her first, I have to say it this way, adult experience um, with Brian's friend when she was 14. He was a senior at their high school. Brittany was a freshman. And Brian was apparently really mad about that. Brittany also skipped 17 days of school. Like, Brittany was a bad girl, man. Brittany was like, she was a teen. Like, it's crazy. Like, I guess a lot of people probably assume that she was very clean cut at that time and everything else, and probably did nothing rebellious ever, but we literally have confirmed that there was, like, okay, so we know that Brittany, underage, engaged in adult things, I'll put it that way, drank, smoked, skipped. I love it. Um, I mean, obviously, like, not good things to do, but I just think that it's entertaining. I never would have thought that that's the way that she was when I was, like, a kid watching her, you know what I mean? Um, but so she went to homecoming, she went to prom, she had normalcy, but she missed performing. So Lynn had been in contact with Larry Rudolph and arranged for Brittany to record a demo that was rejected by Tony Braxton. And at the same time, her past castmates, Justin and JC, were in a new boy band. And another cast member she had shared a dressing room with, Nikki, was joining a girl group, which I believe was called Innocence, and invited her. And Brittany passed on the idea in favor of being a solo artist. So Brittany then talked about a meeting that she had with the head of Jive Records and seeing a Yorkie for the first time, which I thought was adorable. She really talked about this Yorkie. We know she loves dogs, but like she was fascinated by this dog, and I just thought that that was really cute in the book. Jive signed her at the age of 15. Lynn was working in Kentwood, so their family friend Felicia went out to New York um, with Brittany to keep an eye on her, who then became like her personal assistant. Felicia was around for a lot pre conservatorship. Um, she worked with multiple producers, including Max Martin. He actually flew to New York to meet her. They had dinner. And at the dinner, a candle fell over and lit the table on fire. And the two decided to work together. And she said that he was magic. Brittany flew to Sweden and they recorded Baby One More Time. And from the book, when she talks about it, she says, the night before we recorded Baby One More Time, I was listening to Soft Cell's Tainted Love and I fell in love with that sound. I stayed up late so that I go into the studio with my voice fried. It worked. And when I sang, it came out gravelly in a way that sounded more mature and sexier. Once, sorry, once I felt what was happening, I became focused on the recording. And Max listened to me. When I said I wanted more R&B in my voice, less straight pop, he knew what I meant and made it happen. And that's the beginning of Baby One More Time. And my phone is going off, and I don't know why it's going off. Don't you love it when you get interrupted by things that you like, things that you care about, like streaming because of spam phone calls? Hate that. Anyway, that is to the end of chapter 8. So that basically summarizes what happened at first in the book, the first section. So I'm going to open up the floor to you guys because I would love to see what you guys thought of those of you who read the book and also just hearing this, like what you guys thought. Um, what worked for you, what didn't work for you, what do you wish you heard more about? Anything like that, I would love to see. Gunner Girl said, I was also very surprised with the mischievous things that she did. I think it's because of the goody girl image her management wanted for her. I mean, they definitely stuck to that. And I would imagine for her, it must have been very frustrating at points to be grouped into that when, obviously as she started having more control, that was not the image that she wanted to go with. Peppermint said, I wonder what Justin's dad was like, how he turned out like he did. It seems he doesn't really respect women that much, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly sometimes feel like, and this is just my opinion, I think some of the choices that Justin made were specifically for his own gain. Like he saw opportunities to launch himself further into fame, and that's what he focused on. I don't even think it was necessarily like if he saw someone that could catapult him, he probably jumped. That's the vibe that I get. I don't, it's just, I'm sure we'll talk more about Justin in the next part as we go through the different things that happened. But I honestly, by the time we finished reading the book, talking about Justin, I was kind of like disturbed with some of his behavior because I didn't feel like it was normal and it seemed almost sinister at points, which very much surprised me. Yeah. Gunna Girl also said, I'm on the last 3 chapters of Brittany's book. I agree, Kim. I've only heard of her. I assume we're talking about Justin's mom being a sweet, super sweet lady. Her name is Lynn also. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Carbonite Stardust. I was 11 the first time I stole the car for an adventure, and also 11 the first time I smoked. I never would have dared. Never would have dared. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Diana said 100 pages were cut out of the book. Rumors book 2 is coming out next year. I have heard most credibly that there was a cut of the book that had 30 more pages. I haven't heard the 100 before. I'd be interested to know where your source is on that. Um, And I have my own theories about whatever volume 2 is going to be. I'm researching right now. I'll let you guys know when I actually get a bit more information on that. Because at this time, sources are saying there is no official plan in place for a second book, but I have many questions. I have many questions. Oh, Ray said I haven't read it yet. My copy arrives on the 7th. I don't know what is going on. Like, the thing is, like, I really wanted to start this book club last week, but then I was hearing there were so many people that weren't getting it until Friday because there was something that went on, and I don't know what it was, but I was hearing it even through places like Amazon that this was an issue, and then I was also hearing from people that they went out to bookstores and they were sold out, and they just straight up couldn't get the book. So I wanted to wait a few days to try to, like, give people time to be able to get their orders. Um, but I mean, the 7th? Oh, Ray, I'm so sorry. So, so sorry. My goodness. Carbonate Stardust, I'm not surprised. She was a young girl. She did young girl things as I have. That's totally normal to me. See, that's just crazy to me. I mean, I did know people who did at that age. I knew a lot of people that were doing stuff at that age.
Our middle school was no.
Yeah, our middle school was no stuff happened in our middle school, okay? Stuff happened in my high school. Stuff happened. Stuff happened, but it just I the idea of doing that for me was just so far off. But I'm just that's just me, but it's fine. Everybody's different, and I think everybody's gotta, rebel in their own way as well, right? It's figuring out who you are. DVD said it seems like for her entire life, she's never really been able to be herself until now. It's sad. And I agree with you because it's like even before the conservatorship, so much of her life was controlled by her family dynamics. So much of her life was controlled by her father, essentially, and her mother's choices. So sometimes like I feel when we talk about the parental control that has been in Britney's life, it far extends the conservatorship, in my opinion. Da, da, da. Rando from Iowa. It's surprising because they made Justin have a good boy image also. It's true, but I feel like he also kinda, like I know there were a lot of things that were cooler back in the early 2000s and late 90s than what they are now. Some things have aged like milk, but I think there definitely was a bit of cringe with Justin even then, a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but I think there was a little bit of cringe with him, just a bit. I think we all remember that we're at the stream on Wednesday, the, I just got paid performance that we watched. I don't know what that was. Jackie Swan, it seems to me that Justin used Britney to promote his own image as a good boy, quite possibly. Quite possibly. Pray. Dustbin Whimperflake. I feel like this is becoming the new Benedict Cumberbatch. You know how people started making different, like, names of Benedict Cumberbatch, and they just got more and more insane, and everybody still knew exactly what you were talking about? Ridiculous. Holy Popo, everyone stop having the same name. I swear, no more Lyns, no more Jamies, no more Jasons either. I didn't forget about the Jasons. That's got to stop. All the
There's also a lot of Sam.
There's also a lot of Sams. Yeah, so it's like it gets so confusing so quickly, but I always think of that one scene from Hercules where Pain and Panic are just screaming. Remember like that one year where all the boys were named Jason and all the girls were all named Brittany and I'm like, "Yep. Apparently it was around 1981." Ridiculous. Jamaica, when I was 12, when I smoked my first cigarette after my grandma passed away after lung cancer, trying to understand how she died. Oh, I'm so sorry. That must have been very difficult. I guess maybe one of the things with me and smoking is I'm actually allergic to cigarette smoke. Like I'm actually clinically allergic to it. It comes up on a test. So that for me was just never really even on the table. So maybe that was just something I just didn't think about because of my own situation. But a lot of other kids were. I was just out of the loop. It's fine. I was too busy in my room listening to Melanie's I Believe. Rosa just said it's sold out on Amazon. Is it really? My queen.
And I just checked Canada.
Mhm.
I can't get it until the 14th.
Apparently, Amazon Canada is sold out too. My absolute queen.
The 2 week.
Yeah. Mandalorian said, I finally found one at Target, last one on the shelf. Win. Win. iCat said, I pre-ordered it and got it the night that it came out. You are in the minority. I'm very happy for you, iCats. I think for me, I was just super frustrated that I did all the pre-orders, like even the digital stuff, and the audiobook didn't come through until 3:30 in the morning, and the actual, ebook did not come through until 7:30 in the morning, and I was like, I don't know why I thought that it would be, like, at, midnight, it would just drop. Maybe it's just stuff I'm used to, like, with Spotify and things like that, that you just know that that's the way it's gonna go, but books are different, obviously. Let me see. I'm just reading through everybody being like, "Oh, wow. Okay, so Jamaica said, "Mine the reason that my book was delayed from Amazon, the Amazon warehouse, was because the power was out, and that was why my book was late." Interesting. I have not heard that, but I could see how if there were power problems at certain Amazon locations, that that would cause a chain reaction. That would make things very difficult. Yeah, that would be a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Sage said, "The wrath of God and my father would have come down on me, lol. I would not have gotten away with so much of what Britney did, but I get it." Yep. Yep. I hear you, Sage. Christine said, I'm not really surprised to learn that she was the bad girl as a kid. It kind of explains some stuff. We just didn't get our taste of it until Chaotic, and I personally loved her in that show, lol. I did too. I thought there were parts of that were really fun. I always laugh at the she has her knees together, that whole part, which I don't think I can quote without getting in trouble, but it was funny. Jackie Swan, the only thing they were interested in controlling was the money. Oof. Oof. No lies were told, Jackie. Oh my gosh. It's true. It's true. Panda Bear, I wasn't a fan of Justin and I don't know why. You know what's killing me? I've had so many people send me that clip of the grandmother reading Britney's book. So she's just reading, and I think one of her kids is just like, "How's the book?" And she's just like, "Justin Timberlake is a bleep." And then the camera pans over to someone else in the room and just goes, "Backstreet Boys were better," or something to that effect. And I'm like, that is producer sister.
Yep.
That is producer sister. Every time something comes out about NSYNC or Justin, she's like, "This is why I liked BSB. This is why I liked BSB."
Tried to tell you.
Yep, she tried. She tried. Faux shiz, faux shiz. Yeah, Jamaica said a lot of cringy with him. This is why I loved BSB more. Like, I can't. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. In high school, Rando from Iowa said, in high school, I had a friend whose family built a new house and we got to have a destruction party and we literally trashed the place. The party goes, we're hammers. That sounds like so much fun. That sounds like so much fun. You did it at work?
Yeah.
Producer sister did that at work.
Yeah.
With the building?
The wall. They extended the floor space.
Oh, there was a wall that had to get knocked out. So
it was the greatest day of work.
that must have been the best team building exercise ever.
It was the best day of work.
Oh my goodness.
And of course, I didn't talk, and the guys didn't think I'd want to take a swing. I was like, please.
Producer sister just said, of course I didn't talk because producer's been very shy at points in her life, and they didn't think that she would be interested in taking a hammer. She was. A sledgehammer. She went for it. That's awesome. iCats. Kim, did you go to school in the US? No, I've been in Canada. I'm Canadian. I went to school in Ontario. Um, I had some wonderful teachers and I have some wonderful friends from that time frame. But I would classify my school experience as a dumpster fire. Straight up, I don't even know how else to go there, and it's a whole thing. I would love to tell stories about what happened, but I am nervous that it would there's too many events that it would identify, like, where I went, and I wanna kinda keep some of that stuff to myself, just for privacy reasons, but yeah, it was bad. I never felt safe. I never felt respected. Um, I got to a point in my high school career where I kinda just decided, "You know what? If I get expelled from school because I'm sticking up for myself and my rights as a human being to be here, um, if I get kicked out, fine. I'll get my GED, whatever." I was honestly at that point. I was at the end of my rope, but I felt every day that I went to school that my safety was entirely in my hands, and, that was a very formative experience in my youth of I just had no trust in anybody, none, and, I survived, which I can't say for all of my classmates, so I'll put it that way. Benedict is a king compared to Justin. I'm not arguing that. Benedict has pictures with otters. Benedict also can't say penguins. Have you guys ever heard Benedict Cumberbatch say penguins? I honestly, I wonder if I could get away with showing that. I don't know. I probably couldn't. I don't know because it's from a documentary. He basically did voiceover for a documentary, and so it's like a nature documentary, and in it, he literally just goes like, "And these are penguins. Not penguins, penguins." And he just keeps saying it over and over and over again, and I'm like, "How did no one stop him? How did no one be like, 'No, dude, it's penguins. Penguins. Penguins.'" Oh my goodness. Sage Warrior, my first ex-husband name was Jason, and my middle name is also Lynn, so these names will never leave us. Watch somebody literally does like, has 2 kids, and they just name them, like, Brittany Lynn, and then the next one, they name them, like, Jason Jamie or something like that. Jason James. Oh my gosh, carbonite stardust. I'm allergic too, still smoked. It was during my destructive phase. You were committed. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Yeah, a lot of you guys sharing about when you pre-ordered it, when you got it. My goodness, just what a mess. Ray said, I think Brittany should stop dating men who only come to fame because of her involvement with them, meaning she should find someone who's famous by himself and also has the money. I don't know. Like, I feel like I think whoever Brittany ends up with is going to be someone who is like one in a million. But I just hope that whoever she's with, if she does choose to be in another relationship at any time, I hope they have a fantastic family. I hope they embrace her with open arms, and that she gets to have that experience of just having a very, very loving family that loves her unconditionally. I think she deserves that. Um, oh, hi, Cindy D said, "Hi, Kim. I'm Cindy in Timmins, Ontario. Great job. Hi. Hi. I've never been to Timmins. I've thought about it, but I've heard that it's very cold.
Yeah.
It would be a hike. It would be a hike. But yeah, I've heard that it's also really nice there too. It's really beautiful. Um, just reading through, trying to catch up because you guys are talking a lot, and I feel like by the time I get to your comments, it's gonna be like super off topic. Peppermint said, I was a fan of Justin and went to 2 of his shows. After Janet and his response to the Take Back the Night controversy and Britney's accounts, he's has been timber jerk to me. This is the gift that keeps on giving. I'm sorry. Stephanie said, "There's a reason why BSB is putting music out and touring still. Justin is trash. JC was always better." I will say, I think JC probably has. I could be very wrong because I know that Justin does have a falsetto range, but I've always kind of felt like JC's vocal overall has been better. That's been my opinion. I could be very wrong on that. I haven't studied it in depth by any means, but I preferred his voice over Justin's. Just personal preference. Oh my gosh. I'm just reading through. General Scott sure sounds like you went to school in the US. Mhm. Mhm. It does. Ah, Penwings. Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous. It's so funny. Yeah, Katie, I knew you'd know that. Yes, the penguins, it's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and no one corrected him about the penguins, Carbonized. Nope, nobody did. Nobody did. And he's done like talk show performances where they've asked him about it, like, why did anyone not correct? But he's just like, I don't know. He's so confused. Carbon exactly. People edited it and they still didn't correct him. Like, why would you? I have questions. I have so many questions. Oh my goodness. Oh, Cindy D. They tease me that I live in the frozen tundra. It's cold. It's cold. But, there's lots of cold places in Canada that are stunningly beautiful, in all fairness. So, okay, I think I'm just about caught up to you guys. I am. I am. Yay.
You did
I
it.
am. We're caught up. Yay. Okay. So, I think we've had our discussion then. We've shared some thoughts. I guess is the last call if anyone wants to send in a super chat or anything. Anybody has anything they want to add with the first 8 chapters, and then I guess we will do chapters where which what did I say? We're going to do chapters 9 to 17 tomorrow. If you guys are good with that. Just in case you're reading and you want to read along with it, you want to make sure that you're up to date. That's when we would go. That is all good. Okay, let me look here quickly. I just want to check a few things very quickly on the back end. It's always fun. Technology's fun. Like spelling is fun. These are reloading. Just want to make sure I haven't said anything that YouTube is mad about. I don't think they are. I am going to lovingly encourage you guys, if you have not hit that like button, to please consider doing so. It helps out my channel a lot if you so choose to do that. Yep, we're all good. Perfect. Alrighty. So, um, we have a what the what. If you guys want to do that, are we ready for a what the what? For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, if you may be new here, most of my live shows, I'm not sure if we'll have one for tomorrow or not. But we try to do a section after we've kind of done the news for the day and everything that we just read something from around the internet or we look at something around the internet that is entertaining, that's funny, controversial, but just something that maybe is just it just is a change of pace and we have fun. Essentially, it's a fun time. So it's what the what because a lot of the time we look at something and we go like what? Like what is that? It's like the Cardi B like what is that? You know what I mean? Like we just kind of have that moment. Um so we have that today and we're going to do that. It is one from producer sister. I have been told that where we start is vastly different from where we end up. So what it's supposed to be is the question of it is, am I the a-hole? So the user is asking the internet, am I in the wrong here for jumping out of the way when my niece and nephew tried to push me into a pool, resulting in them falling in? I've also been told there's multiple updates and that this is fairly recent. So it's possible, maybe, depending on if anything does happen, that the story may not be over. But we don't have any confirmation about it either way, to be fair, if that makes sense. So, it might be a saga time? Saga question mark?
Well, there are multiple updates, so
Yeah.
this within itself is
Yeah.
generally a saga.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go for that. Scott? I haven't read it. I don't know.
Wheelchairs in the story.
I can confirm, based on producer sister, that there are no motorized wheelchairs in this story. Rest assured. All right. So here we go. I'm just gonna take a sip of my water quickly. Okay. Okay, everyone. Am I the a-hole for jumping out of the way when my niece and nephew tried to push me into a pool, resulting in them falling in? We'll find out. Original post is July 22nd of this year. So again, fairly recent. Happened today. My folks decided to host a barbecue because I guess that's what older people do. I mean, younger people do that too. Don't discriminate against the barbecue. We all like barbecue for the most part, I think. I declined because I don't really like my two sisters, their husbands, or their kids. Wife and I are child free. Mom then pressured the wife. Long story short, we went. Oh, it sounds like you went in with a great attitude, honey. But we may find out that it's justified. We might. I don't know. Yes. Yes, King Bob. Give me a second. It'll come through. No motorized wheelchairs were hurt in the writing of this story. This is important. Maria, nope, niece, nephew need to be faster. Okay, we'll read the whole story. By the time we arrived, there were about 20 people there. My sisters and their husbands were already solidly buzzed. Drunk, really. My mom was spending 100% of her time trying to keep the nieces and nephews, ages 7 to 11, more or less under control. My dad had strategically retreated to the whirlpool part of the pool with a small cooler full of beers. Wife and I made small talk with miscellaneous people, ate food, and had a frozen margarita. Sisters slash brother in laws took turns criticizing us for being late, not being in our swimsuits, and screwing up the vibe. Whatever. Typical suburban summer get together. Okay. So you guys didn't wanna swim? Okay.
Not approved.
Some people don't like to. There's also sometimes health reasons people don't wanna do that. Also, sometimes people don't wanna get in a pool with a whole bunch of kids that are playing Marco Polo and get whacked. Like, I feel like that's a fair, thing to do. Am I wrong on that? Like, does anybody else kind of feel that way? I guess I have a different perspective because I used to, for a long time, use hair dye that was washout. And I knew the first few times when I did it, I could the color could bleed whenever I got wet. So the first couple days that I had that happen, after I had dyed it, I would always make sure I stayed away from rain and I stayed away from pools because nobody wanted hair dye going all through their pool because I was trying to be considerate of other people. Um, some people just have reasons and there's nothing wrong with that. And it sounds like they were socializing and they had a drink. I don't understand how they were being buzzkills, but okay. All right. About 45 minutes in, two of the kids ran at one of the neighbor's guests who was standing next to the pool and pushed her in. She was at the pool steps and stumbled in, so only got half wet, but that's dangerous. Like the pools, like the steps,
Yep.
you don't do that. That's scary. Sorry. Sorry. No. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. She was clearly very unhappy about it, but she didn't make a scene. She just went over to where the parents were, grabbed their towels, and dried herself off. Sisters and brother-in-laws thought it was all great fun. I don't like these people. I don't like this party. I don't think I'd wanna go. I don't think I'd wanna be there. A bit later, I was standing a few feet away from the pool chatting away with someone. I saw 3 kids running full tilt at me from the corner of my eye. Obviously, I was next. Not that it's terribly difficult to outwit young kids, I just jumped out of the way at the last second. All 3 of them ran straight into the pool at full speed. Most of the other guests, including my wife, started laughing, but their moms, who, as I mentioned, were pretty messed up, absolutely freaked out. Apparently, 2 of the kids couldn't swim, even though they were in swimsuits. Since I wasn't in swim gear, I stepped back from the pool and let the other people fish the kids out. The kids were bawling their heads off like they'd lost a limb. What? I Okay, I get why you didn't wanna go to this party. I don't think I would have gone to this party. These people sound like, parents of the year. Just gonna say that. I mean, if your kids can't swim, then, shouldn't they have things on to, help protect them?
I would think.
Yeah, like water wings or something, or life jackets, if that needs to be done. Oh my gosh, Scott. It His brother-in-law is named Dan, isn't he? Is this Dan?
We don't actually find out their name.
Is this Dan?
No.
Do it for Dan! Okay. At that point, all the bad place broke loose. 4 drunk parents were yelling at everyone in general, and me in particular, for nearly letting their kids drown, and also because 2 of the kids had been videoing the trick using their parents' iPhones, which were now at the bottom of the pool. One of my brother-in-laws got in the pool and tried to retrieve his phone, but his BMI and BAC made that impossible?
I'm just going to assume he's rather large.
Oh, okay, so we're just gonna assume that he's a larger person, I'm guessing. Okay. No one else volunteered to help, unsurprisingly, given that my sisters were still yelling at everyone, I'm assuming. I told my sisters it was their job to watch their kids, and that if anything happened to them, it would have been their responsibility, not mine. Yes. There were some pretty strong words on both sides. Wife and I left after the other brother in law fell over and face planted while yelling at us. Sorry. The chaos druid. Thank you for a month of membership.
Oh, blood alcohol count.
Oh, thank you, Sage Warrior. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, overweight and drunk. Yep. All right. Yeah, that's yeah, I still love that. But F you, Dan. I love it. It's like we are a community of love and acceptance. We don't shame people. We try to be open. We want people to come as they are, except Dan. Except Dan and sister-in-law. They are not welcome. They are not welcome. Okay. I told my sisters it was their job to watch the kids, and if anything happened to them, it would be their responsibility, not mine. There were some pretty strong words on both sides when I left. Wife and I left after the other brother-in-law fell out, fell over and face planted while yelling at us. So I'm assuming that they're just so drunk.
Yeah.
They're literally face planting at this point, probably on like concrete.
Yep. Well, it's a pool deck, so.
Fantastic, right? This sounds like, you're arguing with people that, are good people or that, are in their right mind. Fantastic. Now they're saying I should have let the kids knock me into the pool and have their fun and ruin my phone. So am I the a-hole? No. No. Side note, Dad, of course, never got out of the whirlpool. Dad has given up. The dad has seen some things and the dad just is trying to find some peace. That's the vibe I get. No. Okay, so quick vote from everyone. Yeah, is OP or original poster, the person who posted this article, are they the a-hole? Cuz I'm going to go with no. I'm gonna make a poll. Hang on. Is OP the a-hole? Let me know. Yeah, Rando, Dad is enjoying the show with his beer in the hot tub. Yeah. All right. So we do have someone that voted yes. I'd love to know your reason as to why. Why do you think that he is the jerk? But I think the rest of us are on the same page. We're all kind of like, nope, not the jerk. Where did it go? Marion, no, I would have not only dodged, but held them under.
Oh dear.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Katie's like, someone said yes. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Houston, the yes votes will all be mouse slips. We can hope, but but the thing is though, I think it's fine. It's fine. I don't know how many of you guys have like watched other YouTubers that do Am I the A-holes, but I always think it's very interesting when you have the person that has the contrary opinion and then you actually hear them out and it can be a really interesting conversation. It's always funny. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. The kids are the a-hole. I would argue the parents are. The parents are because they've obviously enabled this.
Yeah.
The kids think it's fine. The kids think it's fine to potentially injure people. They think it's fine to be disrespectful to people. They think it's fine to interrupt other people's conversations. They think it's fine to potentially do property damage and that their parents are literally encouraging them to do all of those things. So, yeah, it's messed up. DVD. Dad brought popcorn just to watch the fun. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so we've had multiple people vote yes. We've had multiple people vote that yes, he's the jerk. So I would say if you voted yes, feel free to use the chat and let me know why you said yes. Yeah, because Solo Dove, I agree with you. He has free will, and the kids need to learn they can't get away with doing the wrong thing. They can't always get away with doing the wrong thing 100%. It's not you don't get to control other people, and if people don't wanna do things, they don't wanna do things. It's to me, it's kinda goes back to, like, it's honestly, it's a consent conversation. You're allowed to say, "I don't want you touching me. I don't want you putting your hands on me. I don't want you pushing me. I don't want you doing any of those things." It's interesting.
They're also adults who don't know this.
Mm. Okay. So I'm assuming you probably have some relevant comments. Yes. More about why OP doesn't care for some of his family. So this is more background. It's more of an oil and water sort of thing. I've never been close to my sisters. They're 8 and 10 years older than me. I also don't have much in common with their husbands. They're okay guys, but I just don't give a crap about the things that are important to them and vice versa. I do know that the 4 of them are somewhat envious of our lifestyle. Oh, here we go. Both the sisters are stay-at-home moms. Both husbands make good money. One makes noticeably more than I do, but both my wife and I have professional careers and we don't have kids, and we're way more responsible with money. As a result, we have a lot more investments and we don't have to dry cars full of kid debris and we take nice trips once or twice a year. It definitely grates this on both sisters, by extension, their husbands. So we get some pretty petty behavior from them on an ongoing basis. Oh. Can I just say, as someone who is child free and has made that decision at this point, it's amazing how many people are like, you're so selfish for not having children. And then can literally turn around in the next like 5 minutes and just be like, my kids are so annoying. It's like, which way is it?
What?
Pick one. Pick one. Don't be like, you should be miserable. You should do this. It's your job to be miserable. And then I go, nah, I don't really want to. I don't. There's a lot of reasons for that. And many of them are none of your business. But like, I don't want to. And obviously, you didn't want to either. So are you just trying to make me as miserable as you so you feel better?
Yes.
This is exhausting. Like, I just know. Like, they've made their choices. They've made their choices. Exactly. And Chris, I just want to put this out there. I want to put this up. Wait, hang on. Chris said, "Not having kids is the best decision I have ever made." I am so frustrated with this dialogue right now of everybody going like, "They're gonna regret it in 10 years." And everyone I talk to that decided to be kid free, that wanted to be kid free and is kid free, and they're like in their 70s, they're like, "My life was great. I'm fine." Like, I don't understand where this comes from. Yeah, I go, "I don't get it. I don't get it." Yeah, it's frustrating to me. Yeah, Becky D. The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. It's Kim. They want you to share in their misery. Like,
Leave me alone.
I'm just living my life. Like, why do you care so much about what happens to my body and my family? It's weird. Focus on your own. It's super weird. Okay. Overall, neither my wife or I enjoy their company, which is why I wanted to skip the get together. It's just not worth it to me. But my wife is a positive person and is usually happy to see them. She's trying to make it work. And so people said, "Are the kids okay?" He said, "The kids are fine, but by the time I left, they were inside watching TV. I think they're 7, 9, 10, 10, and 11. It was the middle 3 that played Kasi with me. I'm guessing the 11-year-old egged them on. She's usually the ringleader." Interesting. Interesting. Update post. 1 month later. Okay. First off, my folks tell me that my nieces and nephews are all good swimmers and that they use the pool all the time. The 7-year-old is still a beginner, but he loves the water. My sister just said they couldn't swim, so I'd look bad. Oh my gosh. Is this sister-in-law and Dan? I'm seriously asking now. I want to know. Is it? Is it them?
Oh, you haven't even got to the good
Oh
part yet.
no. To be fair, none of the kids are allowed in the deep end, which is where they fell in. It was the 2 10-year-olds and the 9-year-old who tried to push me into the pool. Okay, so they're good swimmers and they use that pool all the time and they fell in the deep end. Okay. After we the party ended on a pretty sour note. My drunk brother-in-law, who face planted while yelling at me, had to go to urgent care and get his face stitched up. That's his fault. He was too toasted to drive, so dad took him. Dad is not very happy about this. Then maybe you shouldn't have gotten so messed up in front of your kids that you would fall and knock your face open. I don't understand this. I really don't. Late that evening, my sister started a group text and said some really nasty crap. Their husbands threw in a few comments as well. My wife and I blocked 4 of them. My mom called me and she was pretty upset about what they said. She and dad were in the chat and I don't blame her. Because of the text, my folks insisted my sister slash brother-in-law come over the next day, Sunday, without their kids to get them things straight and lay down some ground rules. Mom's wording. The result was a contrite of unenthusiastic apology from the siblings via my mom's phone. I'm glad my wife was with me when they called. Her hard stares kept me from saying what I wanted to.
Life is the real MVP.
Yeah, wife is the MVP. Wife is the MVP. You need to stay with her. She's trying to make things okay with your family and she's holding you back from saying things you shouldn't say. I like this woman. I like this woman. This must be exhausting for her in all fairness, though. I just told them thanks and that we felt no need to discuss it further. Since I thought things were settled, I unblocked them. That evening, I got a text from one of the brother in laws telling me that the phones cost X amount of money and asking when I would be paying for them. WTF, I replied, never. I took a screenshot of his text and forwarded it to my folks with a note that said we were done with this nonsense and we were going no contact with our sisters slash spouses and not to invite us to any more holidays or get togethers if they will be present. I blocked the sisters and their spouses again. Yep. Yep. Because my answer would have been immediately to those kids. I guess y'all are getting a paper route and you're paying for the phone. But that would require your children to, you know, take accountability. And it would also mean that you as a parent would have to take accountability. But I get the feeling that's not a big thing. At that point, the poop really hit the fan. Dad called them and ripped them a new one. I like your dad. So this is definitely not Dan because the dad wouldn't have done that. This is just Dan's demented cousin. Along with other things he told them, the grandkids were not welcome at his place indefinitely. Oh. Since my mom regularly provides free babysitting, that got them pretty rattled. Oh my goodness. He also banned them from using the vacation home. This is definitely not Dan's dad, and I love it. And told them my wife and I actually own it, not he and mom. This completely freaked them out.
So the vacation home is owned by OP and his wife. That is
Okay.
important.
Okay, so OP and his wife own the vacation home.
They thought the parents did.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. So vacation home belongs to OP and sister. It kind of reminds me of a certain Jamie Lynn being like, I have the greatest condo in Destin. No, you don't. Brittany did. It's gone now. She sold it. Bye. This completely freaked them out. Both of my sisters/families use the place a lot, including having their friends up for weekend getaways. This was very much out of character for my folks. They clearly had it. And for reference, I never wanted my sisters to know that we own the place. We bought it for my folks. They always wanted a place in the mountains. Keeping the ownership quiet was just a way to avoid drama with their siblings. Oh, with my siblings. Okay, so they bought a place in the mountains. Partially because they wanted their parents to be able to use it because that's what they had always wanted. And then these siblings took advantage of that and made it into their party pad.
They think parents own it.
Because so the siblings thought that the parents owned it and then took advantage of that as a party pad.
Yeah, they go up and
wow. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes. I think we're figuring out who the kid that actually respects everyone is. We're seeing that now. A couple of days later, my sister and their husbands came to our place unannounced to apologize in person. Oh, get F. You leave. Bye. Bye, Felicia. You're only sorry because you lost the place you probably like to go get drunk with your friends. Go home. Sorry. I hate stuff like that. Sorry. We were out to dinner and they left a note. One sister also called me at work too. I sent her to voicemail. Good. We decided being no contact is the best thing for the indefinite future, and I haven't interacted with them for the past 3+ weeks. Personally, I'm done. And they can go pound sand. Yep. Relevant comments. So these are things OP has said to comments in the thread. It's been less than a month, but I have to say that blocking them has actually made our lives noticeably more peaceful. I hadn't realized how much ongoing low level drama they create. It's not toxic. They're not bad people. They're just tiresome and petty. But the thing is, though, after a while, if that is the way that somebody behaves, it does become a problem, right? And this is also where I sometimes get frustrated, like when people go no contact, and then certain people go like, I can't believe that they would go no contact with me, and they can't see the issues. And it's like people don't come to that point. They don't come to that point of cutting you out unless there is a problem. You know what I mean? And even if it doesn't seem like a problem to you, it's obviously a problem to them. And common ground needs to be made. But if you're not willing to do common ground with them, like then it's better for you guys just to not be in conflict all the time because it's not healthy, you know? And I personally don't care about them using the weekend place. It's ours technically, but we bought it for my folks. They control it and decide who uses it when they aren't. We pay for all the operating costs and the taxes. That is so nice. That's so nice. But the thing is, though, if they bought it for their folks, like their parents, and they go, no, we don't want any of the other siblings up there. Just this. No, no, you don't get to, infiltrate our peace. Then that's the way that it should be. One good thing about this blow up is that we now know what we'll be doing with the property when my folks get older. I was prepared to take over managing it, allocating weekends, maintaining it, and such. But now we know we'll just sell it. And if we want to go to the mountains, we'll just rent an Airbnb. OP's parents. Yes, my folks aren't dumb. They're pretty laid back, though, very much live and let live. I figure they'll ease up on all of this soon, but that's their decision. We still won't be attending any family events for the foreseeable future. What sucks for my sisters is they're probably all very worried that I'll keep them from using the cabin. I won't. That's up to mom and dad until they are older. And it puts an end to one of the sisters' fantasies of building a compound of houses when we inherit the property. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to finish the paragraph and then I will go back to that. Of houses when we inherit the property, which I've known about for some time and had just ignored. Normally the lots there only have one area that can be built on, but this piece of property is way larger and it's at the end of a road. At least 3 houses with great views could be placed on that land. Okay. This may be an unpopular opinion, but this is how I feel about it. And I feel about it because I've seen stuff, good and bad, when it comes to inheritance. No one is entitled to inheritance. No one. No one. No one. I'm not entitled to my parents' inheritance. I'm not entitled to anything from my grandparents. It's their stuff. It's their stuff. And if they decide they want to liquidate the whole thing and donate it to, a llama organization, they can. That's their right. It's not yours. The assumption that you are going to take property or you are going to have this or have this or have this or whatever is ridiculous. It's not yours. It never was. It should not be like you're waiting for somebody to die so you can be like, yeah, my investment, catalog's gonna get bigger, gonna be good, but things are gonna be better when you die. Bro, take that energy and work harder. I'm not here for that. No. You're not entitled to any of it. It's gross. It's disgusting. Somebody else's life work and you're just gonna go, yep, mine. No. No. Ugh. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, that noise is on the internet forever now. One fun note on OP's post was removed. What?
Um, so they removed it, the original one, from the Am I the A-hole thread, saying that it didn't match the subreddit.
Oh. Okay. Apparently at one point they removed this post from Reddit from Am I the A-hole because they said it didn't meet the qualifications or whatever.
Yeah.
But just according to the message I just read from the other subs moderator, the violence was property damage. I still don't get it. The phone's being ruined, I guess. Ridiculous. I'm sorry, but I don't understand that. Whatever. Okay.
Keep going.
Scott. All my money is going to giraffes against ceiling fans. Protect my neck. Ban the blade. That's your right. It's a beautiful thing when it's your money. You get to do whatever you want. If you want to support the giraffes, support the giraffes. If you want to get it all in cash and just throw it in a grocery store, you have the right to do that. Like it's no one can tell you what to do with it. No one is entitled to it. Mm. Exactly, Brando. My ex's family was writing their names on his grandma's property, arguing about who gets what right in front of her. I just sat and tried to distract her. It was sad. That is so gross. It's so gross. Build your own stuff. Build your own life. And then when people start fighting over your stuff, you can be like, no, I'm giving it to the giraffes. Okay. Update 2.
Now we get to it.
This was producer sister said now we get to the good parts. I'm scared now. Okay. Okay. I'm going to end this poll because we are now currently at 80-20. So 20% of you think that he's in the wrong here. That the person who wrote this post, that he should probably be paying for the phone, that he should let the kids throw him in, that it's fine that, his siblings were using his vacation home and thinking that it was going to be theirs in inheritance, even though they got it for their parents. Again, if you are saying that the OP is the a-hole, I want to know your logic. I really want to understand where you're coming from. I'm going to start the poll again in a little bit. Let's read this update and then we can do it again because I'm interested to see if we're going to have a different result. Oh, has my sound been dropping out?
Only when you get really loud.
Okay, let me see if this makes it any better. Let me know if there's any improvement. Thank you, Jean Rick, for the super sticker of the puppy dancing with the farting hearts. Okay. Becky D, some people will just disagree just to disagree. I know, but I think it's interesting that sometimes people genuinely do feel that way, and I want to understand that. I'm not saying I'm going to agree with you, but I do want to understand the logic. Update to the update. Well,
9 days later.
9 days later. It's been an interesting last few days. I thought the poop had hit the fan before, but that was more of a fart compared to what's happened this week. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. For this to make sense, I need to provide some financial context. My folks haven't ever been good at saving money. I've been doing their taxes for years, so I know pretty much everything about them money-wise. Their house is paid for and they have minimal debt, but they did not save much for retirement. Both of them get Social Security. My dad gets a solid pension and they have a bit of savings, but there is no treasure chest in the basement. I bought their current car for them after they retired as a retirement present so they could have something nice to drive. Their first car is probably, it was their first car in probably 20 years they didn't lease. My sisters are convinced that my folks are dripping with money and that our parents will be leaving the two of them everything since I don't need more money, so they've never cared about saving either. The entitlement is real. Oh my gosh. Wow. Turns out my oldest sister and her husband, they have 3 kids, have been living beyond their means for some time and are in financial straits. They've maxed out their credit cards and are behind on their car leases to the point one of them is about to get repossessed. He bragged in the past about making X per year, but it turns out to only be half of that. She confessed all of this to mom on Tuesday because they need a loan and because this was a WTF moment for mom and dad. That for the last 3 years, instead of staying at the vacation house regularly, she's actually been renting it out.
Yep.
Once a month or so and pocketing the cash, and we're talking $2,000 a weekend or at least $4,000 a week. That's like illegal. With her being cut off from using the place, she's had to cancel one group already. Now she's worried they'll lose everything. My folks aren't in any position to give them a loan. Oh my gosh. You guys, you know what I have to put up now?
Insufficient funds. You ain't got no money. Ooh.
Ooh. Like, but the thing is, you have no money because of your own choices. You have no money because you lied. Like, really, like the audacity and everything else. Like, thank you for the choir. The choir is beautiful. All the oohs. I love you all. But the thing is, like, taking somebody else's property and renting it out without their consent, having strangers come into their property without telling them, without knowing. I don't know what you would call that, but for me, that to me feels like theft. Like that is straight up theft. So you're literally going to your parents and saying, just so you know, we've been stealing from you. Like, probably, like, to the tune of about maybe
I'd say tens of thousands.
tens of thousands of dollars, but we're, like, really low on our luck right now, and we're gonna need a loan. Like, I understand that sometimes people end up in financial like issues. People make mistakes. There's all those types of things. And I'm not trying to be like super judgmental. But yeah, like this is fraud. This is theft. This is illegal. And I don't understand how you can like do that and then expect someone to give you money. Like, what even is this? And what good faith are you coming to this table being like, I'm going to pay you back? But I stole tens of thousands from you, just so you know. This is insane. This is insane. Yeah, literally. Hang on. Becky, we've been grifting you. Can we have a loan now? Like, no! No! Wow, these people. My other sister was aware of her renting out the place, but of course hadn't ever said anything. You are just as bad! You are just as bad! You watched your siblings steal from your parents and didn't say anything! What? What? I am actually like in disbelief. This is insane. I suspect she's done the same thing as well because I went there once to drop off an ATV I had worked on, and there was a family there who claimed to be staying there with my sister / her family, and they'd gone to town for something. At the time I let it go, I figured she loaned out the house to some friends, but I've always wondered. I would not help these people. I would not help these people, and it's not because I would be mean-spirited or anything like that, but it's like, I'm not enabling this to continue. Like, you are responsible for your own behavior. You are responsible for the things that you do. You are responsible for your debt. The audacity you have shown. This is so disgusting. I found all of this out through my folks who have been pretty stressed out about it. Mom more than dad. He's mainly just pissed off about it all. Fair. I know my dad feels betrayed. He was? Mm-mm. I imagine he's embarrassed that he's in no position to help his daughter out. He did reiterate that as long as it's up to him, the girls won't be using the vacation home anytime soon. My folks let me know what's been going on because they figured my sisters would pull up a full court press on me next. They were right. On Thursday, my sisters came to our place without the husbands this time and waited outside my door until I got home. I had to choose between fighting with them in public, them making a scene if I went in without them, or letting them in, so I let them in. I got a BS story from the older sister, with the younger one backing her up regarding why I needed to let them use the mountain place again immediately. They've also said I've been a crummy brother and that I need to step up and plan on paying for their kids' college tuitions because that's what family does. Okay, I have to ask you guys, like when I just said when the family does, did my audio cut out? Please let me know. Are you guys still hearing me? We're all good? Okay, so we fixed the sound issue. Then I'm going to do this. I'm going to reread this. They also said I've been a crummy brother and that I needed to step up and plan on paying for their kids' college tuitions since that's what family does. How are you not embarrassed? Have you no shame? I am literally at a loss. How do you? I do not. I cannot. Like, no. No! No! This is horrible! I let them pitch their story, then called them out based on what my folks had told me, and things went to poop from there. There was denial, crying, cursing, yelling, you name it. Denial is a river in Egypt. And I swear my ears are still ringing 2 days later. I won't lie. I said some really mean stuff to them, but nothing wasn't true. Well done. Well done. I honestly, I'm sorry if anyone ever does that. I am literally just going to put my favorite clip on repeat through like a sound system through my whole house until they leave. Like, it's just going to be this.
Insufficient funds. You ain't got no money. Ooh.
Like, no, absolutely not. No. I want Charlotte Dobre to react to this. I want to see her absolutely lose her mind. Oh my goodness. They finally left after about an hour. After that, I took a shower and laid down. I hope you got a drink too. Oh. Yeah, pretty much. Hang on. Where is the? I just saw. Shame. Game of Thrones, 100%. Oh, I can't. When I got up, my wife was home, and her first words were that she had to block more phone numbers because my sisters were blowing up our phones from new ones. How do you think that annoying people that you're trying to get money out of is going to work? Like, that does not give someone motivation to help you. Just saying, it just doesn't. Folks messaged me yesterday asking me to call. I'm sure my sisters have told them some BS version of what happened, but I'm not up to rehashing it yet. Fair. I'm usually a pretty energetic person, but this drama has me beaten down. I've had just about enough energy today to drive up to the vacation house and padlock the entrance gate shut. Bravo! I'm the only one with a key. I'm guessing that will be enough to ensure my siblings leave the place alone, and they'd probably die trying to walk 400 yards uphill to get to the house. Oh, okay. Update 3. Oh no. This is from September. I can't. September 12th of this year. Yet another update regarding the cluster F that is my extended family. I thought it might be time, given what's gone over the past 2 weeks. It might be time. As a rule. Does anybody remember that commercial? It was a Super Bowl commercial a number of years ago for like a job finder site. It just listed these things of when, like, you need to quit your job. It was basically like when you're dying inside, it might be time. Thing. After my sisters came up to my place, my mom and dad told me they were done with managing the vacation home. It sounded like the sisters had been pressuring them to let them use the place again, but basically my folks handed the responsibility for the place over to me and told me it was my problem from here on up. That's so sad because it was a nice thing they did for them, and then these people ruined it. Up until then, they kept track of who had been using it, and they'd taken care of the routine maintenance, replacing worn out items, etc. In any case, they decided they didn't want to be in the middle of all this crap. Well, I don't blame them. I'm disappointed because the place was supposed to be something for them to enjoy and hang out in and use regularly. Plus, I've never cared that they let my sisters and their families use it because I've always really thought it was my parents' call, even though I technically own it. But now my folks are going to be in the position of not having access without me being involved, and that changes the whole dynamic of the place. I've taken several steps to secure the place. I've already mentioned I locked the gate. It has a heavy-duty chain and the best lock I could find. I also did a full reset on the door keypads and created all new codes. Security cameras got installed yesterday, which is actually pretty cool because the installer convinced me to put a high-res one that looks out over the valley. The system cost me way more than I thought it would, but the peace of mind is worth it. The installer also put up signs on the property saying the place was monitored by video. I also installed a heavy-duty lockout for the water shutoff/drain valve. I hope I don't lose the keys for it because if I do, it's going to be a bear to try to remove. I haven't told everyone, but my wife that the water is locked off, and again, only we have the keys. All right. Yeah, 100%. Sorry, Sage Warrior. This is why we can't have nice things, honey. Because you break them, I have to take them away. I'm a Reputation girl. When Reputation Taylor's version comes out, I'm going to be losing my mind. Again, I sent it to the universe. I did something bad. Reputation Tour Stadium version. Please. Please, Taylor. Please. Please. Literally, if you were sitting in front of me right now and you looked at me and went, "Do you want a picture or an autograph?" I'd say neither. I did something bad, the Reputation Stadium Tour version. That's what I want. It's the only thing I want. Please. Okay. Last week, I got separate calls at my office from both of the husbands trying to convince me to let them use the house like they always have. No! The older one had gone up with some friends for a guys' hangout but couldn't get in because of the gate lock. No, because it's not yours. It's not yours. Why is this so difficult for you to comprehend? This is like Dan's family going like, this is not your house. You don't legally own this. You have no ownership. You have no business being here. You are trespassing. You are trespassing. And they likely caught you in 4K. Oh, and then you admitted it. You moron. Sorry. This is infuriating. He was pretty pissed and embarrassed about being locked out. I'm sorry. Let me find the smallest violin known to man and play you a little mini symphony here to express the sympathy that I carry for you in this moment. I'm sure he would have broken the lock if he could have. During his call, he kept bouncing between being pushy and victimhood. Ugh, of course. At one point, he threatened to rip the gate out of the GD ground. That would be property destruction. So we now currently have theft, fraud, trespassing, and potential property damage. Do you want to keep going? Also harassment. I'm going to go with harassment. Harassment should be in this as well.
Oh, yeah.
I would get a restraining order. He also admitted that they'd been renting out to a few friends that needed the money. I was ruining their business?
Next sentence.
And that I should refund their guests' money? The Lion, the Witch, and the audacity of this! I cannot! Oh my gosh! I should have recorded the conversation with him, but I don't know how to do that from an office phone anyway. I mean, bro, I believe you. I don't even think you... Honestly, I think if you went to the cops with all of this, you had your security cameras up, everything that had happened, the group chat messages of what had happened, and then you said, and then he called me and said that he was running a whole business out of my property without my consent or knowledge. They would believe you. The other brother-in-law just sounded like he was being made to call by my sister. He didn't really put up a fight when I told him not to plan on ever using the place again. In any case, I told them they can't use the place and not to ask again. I cannot. At this point, I'm considering selling the vacation home. I do not blame you. Wife and I wouldn't use it enough to justify keeping it, and it's not like there's going to be any family get-togethers anytime soon. I mentioned selling it to my folks, and their response was pretty much whatever. I'd more than double my money by selling it. The place consists of 3 lots with killer views and is at the end of a private road, but I'll probably wait a while to sell. Doing so now would be an emotional decision. Wise. My sisters and I aren't currently speaking, and I have no plans to initiate contact. Also wise. I don't know what the status has been between them and my folks, and I don't want to. On the upside, we spent an evening with my folks last week, went to a new restaurant. Sorry, that was nice. No one brought up any of this crap. My mom did update us on nieces and nephews. She's spending some time with them at their homes. Sorry, this update isn't full of laughs or owns. It's just life sometimes. Bro, this is plenty entertaining as it is, but I am traumatized. Like, this is awful. Awful. This is insane. I honestly, what I would be tempted to do, if he's gonna make double, sell the property, take your profit, and whatever you originally purchased the property for, invest that and see if you can get something out of it and help your parents that way. Just have it be directly to them because that's what you wanted. You wanted your parents to be taken care of. Take that money and make it into retirement fund for your parents. That's what I would do. And then you basically, because you did something kind for your parents with this property, you got all your money back. You see what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's a win-win on both sides. I think that's how I would do it.
I like get him saying right now it would be an emotional
Yeah,
decision.
but I do agree with the emotional decision thing.
Don't make the decision right now.
Yeah. One thing I will say that my dad has said to producer sister and myself is that like when somebody passes away, don't sell the house for a year if you can do it. Allow yourself to grieve before going through with that decision if it's possible for you to do that because you may change your mind on whether or not you want to sell the property, but in that moment it may be too painful for you to make that choice. And I completely understand his logic on that, and I think he's bang on. If you can do it. If you can do it. Exactly, Sage Warrior 2. Yeah. Retirement fund that the siblings can't get to for sure. Like a trust. I'd make it like a trust. So only the parents can get it. And then when they and then it's willed back to them. And I'm sure based on what he said about doing their taxes and I would assume he works in something to do with finances, that he knows exactly how to do that and to do it well. Okay. Relevant comments. They seem very entitled / could you rent it out for yourself and or sue them for profits? I agree that my sisters and families are very entitled. They are also in an extremely weak position in all of this. The place is a bit remote to rent as a long-term home. Plus, there are times during the winter the road is impassable, so staying there year-round is pretty iffy. There are a couple of permanent residents on the road who are at a lower elevation and relatively close to the year-round public road, but even they have to hunker down or bug out a few times each winter. Regarding making it a vacation rental, doing so would be seen as my sisters as rubbing salt in the wound, and it would give them more reason to create drama. And honestly, we don't need the money. The place is paid for, it's in great shape, and it doesn't cost much to keep the lights on, etc. Okay. I did think about lawyering up and covering them with paper. It wouldn't even cost me much. A good friend is a property law attorney. Do it. I'm sorry. That's the petty part of me. Do it. Producer sister, would you mind grabbing me a Coke? I'm just about through my Coke and I have no more water left. But again, doing so would escalate things and give them reason to create family drama. But it's drama that you would not hear about if you also got a restraining order in addition, right? You just go like, no, the answer's no. No, bye. This is my piece and I am protecting it. And I didn't create family drama. They did. I'm protecting myself now because family shouldn't do this to family. We could start with that. Actually, people just shouldn't do this to people. Theft, fraud, property destruction, trespassing, harassment, all those things. Still not good if you're not family. Just saying. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, Lacey just woke up. Baby Bear, are you all right? Do you want to say hi to everyone? Do you guys want to see Lacey? Lacey didn't sleep well either because when Mummy's awake, Lacey's awake.
When her brother throws a fit?
Yeah. Oh, big stretch. Mummy lost her earbud there. Oh, good. Everybody, here's Lacey. She says hi. This is Lacey. If you guys haven't met her before, she just watches the chat. Like, she just watches all, like, the colors go, like, all the little paw prints and everything. She always just kind of looks at that. She's like, ooh, it's moving. That's cool. All right. Should I put you back down? I know you're sleepy. I'm sorry, baby girl. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm glad you guys like her. Just so you know, we are on slide 18 of 24, so we've still got a bit to go with the story, but we are past the halfway point. All right. My primary goal at this point is to minimize my involvement with them and minimize any nonsense that causes my parents stress. I understand that. I'm willing to take some short-term flack and absorb some expenses like the camera system to keep things contained. It could blow up again, but I suppose I'll drive off that bridge when I come to it. I mean, in all fairness, I feel like doing the security system is a good idea. Because as you said, you're going to double your investment essentially on the property to begin with. But that is something that I would assume if people are going to purchase that property, that the security system would be a bonus for them when they came in. It would be nice to have that all already set up. Sorry, I'm not going to just throw it up on screen, but I saw somebody asking how Lacey's teeth are. She's doing okay. She's doing okay. We're going to move forward with the surgery soon. Just getting everything in order for us to be able to do that, but she's doing fine. I have her on modified food right now, so she doesn't cause any more injury, but she's not in pain and she's doing well. So she's eating well too. It's all good. I don't think we'll sell right away, if at all. It's more of a last resort / personal fantasy more than anything else. There's a good chance that come holiday season, my folks will want to reset and have the entire family here, which is fine. We won't be going, of course. And I don't care if my parents have guests there. I intend to keep control of the place for the indefinite future, though, which will be inconvenient at times because I'm the only person with the gate key. But I can live with that. On the audacity. Yeah, the renting thing, I just don't have words. One of the harsh but true things I told my sisters was that they had risked my property and stolen from me, and that had made them no better than common thieves. Like, accurate. Accurate. Their response was that our parents hadn't told them they couldn't, so it was okay.
Apparently, these things need to be explicitly said.
Do you have to check with your parents as a grown adult if it's okay for you to touch the stove too? Like, really? I am baffled. I am baffled. I don't know about the spine, but thanks. I think it's more that I just don't care that much for them, and because all of this nonsense, I'm now having to trouble caring if they live or die. That might be unhealthy of me, but I'm comfortable with my feelings. I am reminded of a quote from Britney's book that we have not covered yet in the book club. But I kind of want to like actually get it on like a sign because it's so gorgeous. Where is it? Let me pull it up. Give me a second. Trying to find it. It was when Brittany decided that she was kind of done with her family. The quote is literally, "In that moment, I made peace with my family," by which I mean that I realized I never wanted to see them again, and I was at peace with that. I just want, and I was at peace with that. In a sign. I agree about arm's length thing too. We're staying no contact with them all for the indefinite future. I think that is wise. This is the calm before the storm. They'll try to guilt you again. And responding to that, he says, quite possibly, I know one thing for certain. I will burn that place to the ground before my sister ever rents it out again. And you still would probably make your money back on the land alone. I'm sorry, that's really funny to me. Financially, I'm pretty sure my oldest sister, who is renting the place out regularly, is screwed. I know they're trying to take out a second mortgage, but unless they can contain their spending, that will be a stopgap at best. I admit I didn't realize until recently how much the other sister/brother-in-law resented me over the financial situation. I figured it, but I figured it out and it's pretty insane. Honestly, I thought both families were doing well. They drive new cars, have nice houses, everybody has all kinds of electronic gadgets, etc. But that was all smoke and mirrors, at least for the older sister. And I'm finding it impossible to give a crap though. Oh, I mean, I have difficulty having sympathy for these people for many reasons. Many, many reasons. It's just ridiculous. He said, I should probably feel more empathetic about all this, but the truth is, I don't really care about my sisters and their families. I don't really have any bond to them. Certainly nothing like I have with my folks or my in laws. Heck, I'm way closer to my wife's siblings than mine. In any case, I don't care how my sisters live so long as it doesn't involve me. I feel like this is kind of this, like, it's like, I don't understand how you can have this like entitlement to have certain things and you look at someone and go, "Well, I should have that too," even though the choices that you've made have been super, super different. And it's like people have to make their own choices and make their way through life. People have to make their own mistakes. People have to be able to pick themselves back up. That is life. That is life. It's not handed to you. It's hard. And just because you're in a certain place now, you're in a certain season of your life now, does not mean that that season is going to be extended, um, for the rest of it. So you just do the best you can with what you have at the time and try to be wise with what you have and be essentially what I would consider to be a good steward, I guess. You just try to, be smart about what you have. And obviously, these people have not been. And you can't be like, well, I'm entitled to what somebody else has because they were smarter than me, or because they were wiser than me, or because they sacrificed more than I did, because I don't feel like I should have to sacrifice at all to have what I want. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. And when you're dealing with people like that, I feel like you're dealing with people that are at about a maturity level of a 4-year-old. And I don't negotiate with 4-year-olds. I just don't. I'm sorry, I don't. I can be kind and considerate and try to be understanding and have empathy, but this is not a negotiation. This is my stuff, and you're not entitled to it, period. Like, Matt Vaughn coming in with a super chat. Hi. Everybody's got a water buffalo. Yours is fast, but mine is slow. Where do you get them? I don't know, but everybody's got a water buffalo. Ooh. You bring the madness. You bring the madness. Oh, this has been a story, Matt. I don't know how long you've been watching, but if you had been watching this whole time, you would be screaming along with me. I promise you. I promise you that. Okay. Why not just sell it? So, OP says, my parents, dad in particular, love the area that the house is in, and it's close enough that they can drive there with minimal effort. I think they prefer I not sell it so they can continue to use it, which is fine with me. And they like getting everyone together, so my sisters and families will end up there. And that's really fine too. We're not going to be there. I just hope they have a good time. But as to my sisters using my home again without my parents being there, never again. Moving forward. Yes, this probably will end up being a long-term issue for my siblings, but they can't harass me if we never speak again. All they can do is make my folks upset, and my parents are capable of dealing with that themselves. Eventually, everyone will get used to the new reality of the house not being available. I'm going to find a property manager in the area who can unlock the main gate for me and do routine stuff so I don't have to go up there when my folks want to use it. That will cost me less than the place being used by my sisters 3 out of 4 weekends. I pay all the bills. And the place will stay secure. I have to say that is a good point too, because if they were renting this place out, he was paying for all of those utilities. That money should be his.
Yep.
That those tens of thousands of dollars that they made off of this property should be his. Period. Oh my gosh. Also, yes, my older sister can get a job and or they can cut back their lifestyle. They probably won't be able to do so until some massive reality check like getting their suburban repossessed, but that's their problem. Exactly. They need the reality check at this point because they are living in the land of Delulu and giving them what they want is not going to fix that. We won't be helping them. My folks can't realistically do so. I'm having a hard time pretending to care one way or the other. Like John Wayne said, life is hard. It's harder when you're stupid. I love that. That's it. That's amazing. Yes, John Wayne. I agree with that. New update. October 16th, guys. So 2 weeks ago. And this is why we're saying we don't know if there's going to be an update, but this is still fairly current. So if you guys want us to, we can keep our eye on it. And we'll let you guys know. But here we go. October 16th. A couple people have asked for an update, so here you go. I hired a guy to look over the vacation home. He lives in the area, takes care of his folks, and manages a good number of properties. Some are vacation rentals, some are weekend places like ours. He has access to my camera feeds and does a physical check around the place every week or two. I think he may have the best job in the mountains. He gets paid to drive around with his dog, walk around the properties, and hangs out on people's decks whenever he feels like it. Good gig, man. He also has a camera feed from a house near the start of the private road and still takes shots whenever a vehicle goes past it. $450 a month, plus he'll do basic maintenance and repairs on an hourly basis. Done. Bro, done. He's friends with all of the sheriff's deputies, too. Got a lot of peace of mind from doing this. He also sends photos from his walks once or twice a week. This is a good gig. Yes, please. Yes, please. I have to brag a bit on my parents. I got this all from tonight's dinner. They were getting pressure from my sisters to demand that I open up the vacation house for everyone for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving.
I think they're in Canada.
Yeah, that would make sense. Producer sister just said I'm beginning to think that they're in Canada because that would have been because our Thanksgiving is in October. It's usually like the second week of October or so.
October 16th was
Yeah.
a week after.
October 16th was a week after Thanksgiving. So that would add up. Okay. Thanksgiving up there had become quite the tradition for my family. Not for me and my wife. We've gone once in 7 years. My dad refused to bother me about it because he knew I'd say no. And they came up with what I think is a great plan. They announced they were organizing the Thanksgiving gathering and everyone would split the cost in advance. They'd rent an Airbnb in the mountains. Otherwise, they'd host Thanksgiving at their place and one of the sisters could host it. This caused a fight between the sisters because the middle sister was all for doing the Airbnb, but the oldest one doesn't have any money. The deadline to commit the Airbnb has passed, so it looks like Thanksgiving will be at my parents' place. Regardless, we won't be there. My parents have asked that we not sell the place for now. They've decided they'd still like to use it occasionally, but not until my sisters have come to terms with the new normal. And of course, they'd probably like it if everyone could get together there again down the road, but that's just not going to happen. I'd just as soon as sell it and move down the road at this point, but I can live with keeping it if my folks do use it now and again. Plus, it would be worth even more down the road. Wife and I have stayed no contact with my sisters and their husbands. Both sisters have called from new numbers. If you Google Voice and left messages insisting that I meet with them for our parents' sake to work out how everyone can use the family vacation home. No! Again, for the millionth time. It's not yours! They called my wife too. I'm glad I was already in the habit of not answering calls I don't recognize the number of. I honestly don't know if they're delusional or they think they can just bully me into giving them access again. Both. Both is good. Don't really care. My parents tell me that the oldest sister and her husband are getting out of the leases for their SUV and their big truck and are selling their jet skis and some other stuff they've never needed. And that's going to be really hard on her. She's quite the braggart and won't like being seen with something older slash smaller slash cheaper. My brother-in-law's identity is very much wrapped up with his truck as well. Oh gosh. He even has a small tattoo of the truck company's logo, which frankly is one of the main reasons why he and I never hung out. I'd love to hear the story behind it, but that is odd to me.
I'm sure there are reasons why people do it.
Let's just put it this way. There have, I worked in the auto industry for a bit, met a lot of people that are very passionate about their cars. Never saw anyone with a tattoo of the logo. Did you, producer sister? Nope. Not a thing. I have questions, but I don't know if I want the answers.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah. Several people have suggested I make the vacation home into an Airbnb. I don't plan to do so, at least anytime soon. I know it would make money, but it would would cause an incredible amount of drama across the family and would stress out my parents. They don't need that. It would also be a hassle to remove my personal things that my folks have there. That stuff has nowhere to go. And there would be wear and tear on the place. I'm not sure it would take the same amount of time on my part, even though I'd use a manager to do it. It's just not worth it to me. And that's it. That's where we land. Wow.
It all started when am I the a-hole for moving out of the way?
Yeah, producer sister just said it started with am I the a-hole for jumping out of the way when my niece and nephew tried to push me in the pool?
I told you we didn't end there.
Okay. I'm going to ask again. Is OP the a-hole? Is OP and I'm going to put this in simpler terms. Is the original poster in the wrong? There's your poll. You guys let me know. I can't. While you guys are doing that, I do want to say thank you very much to Jen Vamp Vegas for the super sticker, which I believe was the unicorn. Super cute. Thank you so much for that. Vicky A has been a member for 8 months. Thank you so much, Vicky, for your support. Very much appreciated. I'm glad to see you here. So it sounds like my family, except my parents are bad too. Oh, I'm sorry, Vicky. That's awful. I'm sorry that's been your experience. And Matt Vaughn with the $2 objection. Nuh-uh. I know I'm going to have to find the full context of all of that because it sounds ridiculous. Kind of sounds like one of those moments that it's like that's going to live on for a while. So I got to get up to date on that. But oh my goodness. Ridiculous. King Bob, yep. If someone says yes, I'm going to scream. If someone says yes, they are the problem. They are the problem. I'm sorry. I was going to hear the yes people out. Now I don't want to. Now I know y'all are just trolling. Because somebody said yes. More than one person said yes. So the trolls be trolling. Hello. Both of OP's sisters have voted yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Yeah, Becky D. Well, I might change my mind if he insists on not selling the vacation home and continues to allow his sisters to torture his parents with the vacation property. Yes. Kelbear, 8% said yes. Please explain why. I am confusion. Explain. Do you guys know what that is? That joke is? The I am confusion? I should probably share that with you guys if you don't know. Give me a second. Let me pull that up. Because I think Katie actually referenced it the other day too. It's an old Vine. And And it was let me just pull this up quickly and make sure I've got the right one here. So Vine, for those of you that don't know, was an older program, like an older site on the internet that got discontinued. And basically, in my opinion, I believe that Vine walked so TikTok could run. They were vertical videos and they were limited at 7 seconds. So you really had to be creative with the way that you used it. And I thought it was absolutely comic genius at points, the way that people did. And I have a very deep love of Vine. So I'm going to show you guys the I Am Confusion Vine. And it's going to play twice so you can see it because it is short. And I'm hoping I can get everything going. There we go. Of course, we go right to Britney because it's my algorithm.
So I am confusion. Why is this one Kansas, but this one is not Arkansas? America, explain. Explain. What do you mean in Arkansas? So I am confusion. Why is this one Kansas, but this one is not Arkansas? America, explain. Explain. What do you mean in Arkansas?
Yeah. So that's the joke. So it's literally just someone saying, why is this one Arkansas, and then we have Kansas? Why is it not Arkansas? And just people being like, I am confused. I am very confused. But so it starts with the lady going, I am Confucian. So that kind of became like a whole meme in itself of whenever people saw things that just didn't make sense. And then explain. I will add the link to this in my source doc. I'll try to find the original as well because it's always hard. Vine is hard because I can't go back to the original source of like where it came from because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist anymore. So that's it. Yeah. Becky, oh yeah, I remember that one now. Marsha, I feel your frustration. I wondered that myself. Yeah, exactly. I am Confucian. Really? I am Confucian. Well, so let me just get this all back together. There we go. All right. So I'm going to end the poll. And we're going to start to wind down the stream because we've been going for 2.5 hours. And if I'm doing a stream tomorrow, I need time to prepare for you guys. But at 50 votes, we concluded the no portion was 93% and change. And then the yes portion was 5% and change, which doesn't add up.
No, it should be 94 and 6.
Yeah, it should be 94 and 6. This is weird. Anyway, some people said yes. I still am curious to know your point of view, but it's wrong. So here is the last opportunity. If you want to have any comments in, you want to ask me any questions, you want to send in any support, this is the time. And we will wrap up this stream today. And we are planning on doing a stream tomorrow. I will let you guys know if something changes. And I hope that is okay. Alrighty. Becky D said, thank you, ItsKim. So much fun. Thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I know you guys can choose to go anywhere in the world today. You could watch anything you wanted in the world, and you chose to be here, which means a lot. What is math anyway? Right, Rando? The math ain't mathin'. Math ain't mathin'. It's not mathing. It's just not. Thank you, General Scott. Thank you for the super sticker of the unicorn. It's very kind of you. Thank you. You can never have enough unicorns. Never. Never, never. Benjamin just asked a question. It's coming through. Do you guys have Dr. Pepper in Canada? Yes, we have Dr. Pepper. Yes, we do. Chris Barber, I'm looking forward to seeing the beginning of the story. I can't believe that the beginning of the story took us to where we ended up.
I told you.
It's wild.
That's a ride.
It's wild. Matthew Pond. Why do you drive on a parkway and park on a driveway? That is a great question. That is a great question. Oh my goodness. All right, you guys. I hope everyone is well. I very much appreciate all of your support and being here. I am going to wind down. As always, I would ask that you would stay to the end of the stream, potentially reload the page and leave a comment. It helps me out a lot with engagement on this platform. And it just shows that people are interested in the stream and they enjoyed it and they want to interact with it. So it would mean the world to me if you would do that. I'm going to let the ending screen play for a couple of seconds. Then the stream will end. You can reload and go. But thank you guys so much for being here. Much love to all of you. I will hopefully, unless something changes, see you guys tomorrow for Halloween. And we're going to have a fun time. And I will see you all then. Much love, guys.